Welcome back to FM Story. Our one season in Frankfurt saw us crash out of the Europa League in the quarterfinals against Betis. We did manage to qualify for the Champions League through the league as well, so it's meant we've had to leave Frankfurt with 5 seasons left of the save to try and find another club that we could possibly win the Europa League with. There was very, very slim pickings in terms of jobs available this summer, but we have found a new job, so let's find out where we're going to. So we have gone and taken over at Valencia, who finished 6th in La Liga last season, qualified obviously for the Europa League, otherwise we wouldn't be here. Have won the Europa League 3 times in the past. There's a bit of a transfer budget, a bit of a wage budget, and on paper they've got what looks like a pretty decent squad. I think it's more aging than I first realised when I started negotiating the contract, because I think Rowe is 35 now, Alejandro Francis is 35, Mosquera's certainly up there as well. But hopefully, I don't think there's as many big teams in the Europa League as there was last season with Inter, Man City, Tottenham. I think Tottenham might be back in it, but Man City aren't and Inter definitely aren't. We're now at the beginning of the league season, and we've had a fairly busy transfer window to get there. In terms of outgoings, there was 2 outgoings already lined up and already happened when we took over, which brought a bit of money into the club. And then there's some players gone out on loan, and a couple of those are because I screwed up on the non-EU rules with some of the players we signed. In terms of the incomings, one area where we were potentially lacking it was in goal. So we brought in Reginaldo Mios, whose contract with Al Nassr just finished. I signed him when we were at PSG. He didn't play, but he's head and shoulders our best goalkeeper now. We've then brought Marbod Lepe in on loan from Liverpool. We tried to sign him when he left Colo Colo at Juventus. I think we actually tried to get him on loan last season at Eintracht Frankfurt as well, but he went to Leverkusen instead and didn't have the best of seasons, but looks like he could be a real threat for us. We then brought in Franco Mastantuono on loan from PSG, another player we actually brought to PSG in our time there. He hasn't really kicked on as much, but should still be able to do a job and can play in a number of positions for us as well. And then a particular area we were struggling in was the centre midfield. So we've gone to Barcelona and brought in on loan Lino Sierralta. Can play in centre midfield, can play as a defensive midfielder, can also play wide right if we really need him to as well. However, this is where the issue started, because Lepe, Mastantuono and Sierralta are all non-EU players. And we're only allowed 3 non-EU players in the squad. Brought in Yoshioka on loan from Liverpool, but he's also a non-EU player, so he's not going to be registered, and that's a waste of money. We were lacking in right back, so we've gone and signed Mariano Cantamessa from Lazio. He had a clause in his contract because they were relegated, he could leave for 18 million. Although his primary position is left back, he's both-footed. He's going to be deployed as a right back for us this season. The physicals are just, in terms of acceleration, stamina, pace, just exactly what we need down that right-hand side. And then we brought in another player on loan, Shabani Makengo, on loan from Nantes. Looks at a really decent player. So I was surprised to see he was actually listed for loan by them. But he can play wide left, he can play through the middle, he can play wide right. Just, again, great physicals, some great mentals as well. And looks like he can finish the ball if called upon. Tactically, we're looking at starting with a 4-2-3-1. Try and keep it pretty tight, press them, and take our chances when they come. In terms of the preview for the season, they're only expecting us to finish 7th in the Spanish league, which is below like Tenerife. So it's a bit of a strange one. I think based on like looking at the key players and everything, we might actually have the second best goalkeeper in the league in Mios. And then obviously we're in the Europa League. So in terms of the teams that are in the Europa League, obviously we've got Man United, Leipzig, Tottenham, Nice, Benfica, Napoli, Ajax. Ourselves, Torino straight into the league phase, Bournemouth straight into the league phase, Albacete, Wolfsburg straight into the league phase, Auxerre. Generally, I think that's a lot less strong than it was last season. So hopefully we can go a long way in the competition this year. We've made it to the start of the Europa League and we've got a pretty decent home game against Ligue to begin with. The league season so far has been a bit up and down. Opening day of the season, we took the lead against Villarreal and then just disintegrated and lost 3-1. Somehow, the next game out, we came away with a 2-0 victory away at the Bernabeu. We then drew 1-1 with Betis and Mallorca. We hammered Getafe 3-0. And in the most recent game, we came from 1-0 down to go 2-1 up to then concede an equaliser away at Real Sociedad. We've done a bit more work in the transfer window on deadline day. We've signed a couple of young players for the future who aren't going to be involved in the first team setup. And then we were struggling a bit in terms of depth in the defence. Brought in another defender on loan. This one actually complies with the EU nationality rules. And so Sasa Benic has come in and has started at right back the last couple of games. And obviously, as we said, we're about to start our Europa League campaign. We've got a home game against Ludogorets, followed by an away game at Tottenham, followed by an away trip to Norway to play Molde. Then we're at home to Auxerre and Partizan and Man United, before finishing with away games at Slavia Prague and Antwerp. We should have enough to certainly qualify for the knockout stages, and hopefully, looking at the fixtures outside of the Tottenham and Man United games, they're all pretty winnable games. So hopefully we should be able to make it into the top 8 as well to bypass the knockout playoff round. So this is the side we've picked for the home game against Ludogorets. It's just about our strongest lineup. The only issue would maybe be the fullbacks might be different if we were playing our strongest team. So we're going with a variation of the 4-3-3. We've got a back four. Benic is playing right back. We actually signed Cantamassa to play right back, but Onat Yorochu, who is really the first choice left back, has been injured. So Cantamassa is playing left back. Benic is playing right back. We've got 2 in front of the back 4, with Orovic offset on the left in front of them. Mastantuono wide right. And then Shabani, Makengo and Rowe between them have played pretty well. And we're pretty much rotating them at the moment. And then Faber's through the middle because Lepe has picked up a couple of knocks in the last couple of games. Right, Mastantuono with a corner into the near post. Orovic flicks it on and it goes over the top. They've gone long with the goal kick. Faber wins it. They've got the ball at the back, out to the full back. And they've bypassed us pretty easily there. And then in the box, and we've got away with one there because if he'd squared it, that was almost certainly 1-0. Right, Mastantuono with a free kick to the back post. It's headed across goal. Comes off the woodwork. It eventually comes back to Sharano Faber. He fires home from close range and puts us 1-0 up. And hopefully that'll calm things down a touch. It's Faber that gets the header. It loops over the keeper, hits the post. The defender clears it off one of our players back onto himself. And it was a simple finish in the end for Faber. Cantamessa with a throw. Comes back to him. Into the box for Sierra Alta, who digs it out to the back post. And Mastantuono scores, makes it 2-0. And we've settled down after the chance that they had. Cantamessa draws the defenders across, finds Serie Alta, who takes a touch and just digs a ball out to the back post. And a easy header. Right, corner, Rowe to take it. In towards the near post, it's up in the air. Mosquera goes down, Mastantuono running across the defence, hits the woodwork, pulls it back. Benic finds Javiguera, wide to Cantamessa into the box. The low cross is cleared up towards the halfway line. And Cantamessa with a throw. Mosquera, wide to Benic. Infield, Guerra back to Benic. Shoots from distance. And the keeper parries it behind for another corner. We're having plenty of corners so far. Mastantuono into the near post. It's flicked on by Oravec. Right, Rowe with a corner. Again into the near post. It's headed up in the air. Mastantuono takes it down. And just couldn't keep his shot down. And there we are. Half time, 2-0 up. Pretty dominant first half. We did give ourselves a scare with that one chance they had where if they'd squared it, they probably would have been in front. But we've bounced back from that, scored 2 goals in quick succession and put them under constant pressure. We made 2 changes at half time. We brought Luis on at the back instead of Mosquera, and we brought Shabani Makengo on for Low. Oravec with another corner. This time it goes to the back post. And the header's looped back across goal, but onto the roof of the net. Right, Benic with a throw. Mastantuono back to him. Cuts it in. Bends it to the back post. Free header basically for Shabani Makengo. Defender didn't even challenge him. He heads it back across the goal and puts us 3-0 up. There's no pressure on the cross. Just whips it into the back post. Defender doesn't get anywhere near it. And he just arrows the header into the corner. And Mastantuono with another corner. This time the header at the near post straight into the keeper's hands. That's 13 corners we've had, and we've been a threat from most of them. They've gone long up the field. Sousa Alves coming down the left-hand side to Shabani Makengo. Infield, Sierra Alta, Javiguera. That was a hell of an effort from Sousa Alves. I'm sure it was probably a cross, but it caught the keeper out, comes crashing back off the crossbar, and they've cleared it for a throw. And there we are, full time. I know obviously it was only against Ligue, but it's a thoroughly dominant performance. 30 shots, 12 on target, 3 goals, 64% possession. We've had 13 corners as well. And hopefully we can continue in that vein of form. It's now time for an away trip to Tottenham. We've made 2 changes to the team that played the game against Ludogorets. Shabani Makengo and Lepe have come in, and Rowe and Faber have dropped down to the bench. We have played 1 game since that first Europa League game. It was a boring 0-0 draw against Girona. Hopefully we can at least put up a decent performance in this game. Not an awful lot happening early on here. They've got a free kick. McGovern plays straight-ish. Jose Antonio back to McGovern. The shot over the top. I think McGovern was a player that was there when we were at Man City. So he's obviously had a long spell with Spurs. Right, another free kick for them. This time they've gone short at the back. And that was far too easily. Sarr's in, scores. Just far too open. Especially because the side that came down is the side where we've got the midfield players stacked as well. On our left-hand side of our sort of central midfield, that's where all the players are. But no one's tracked the run of Sarr. And a simple finish passed into the back of the net. And there we are, half-time, 1-0 down. We've not really been in this at all, and we need to be a lot better in the second half. Right, we've not made any personnel changes, but we've tweaked the formation slightly at half-time. We've gone to a 4-2-3-1. Oravec's gone wide right. Masantuono's gone in behind Lepe. Oravec with a corner into the near post. Lepe flicks it on, but it was straight into the keeper's hands at the near post. Try to play out down the right-hand side. It's far too easy the way it's got to McGovern. They've got from one end of the pitch to the other far, far too easily here. Ball to the back post. And luckily, it goes behind for a goal kick. Right, Shivani Mikengo with a free kick into the box. It's up in the air. Rowe gets his head on it. And we've still got it. Javi Guerra. Back to Zanon. Javi Guerra into the box. And Faber must have been offside there. But he's missed that horrendously. Right, throw for them deep in our half. Into injury time here. How that's gone in, I don't know. But, I mean, you have to say they deserve to have won the game. That obviously secures the 3 points for them. And it's just a lesson that obviously, just because we put in a decent performance against a weaker Ludogorets team than what we played today doesn't mean that we're in a strong position as far as the Europa League is concerned. It's going to be a tough task this season, I think. And there we go, full time, 2-0, thoroughly outplayed, and we didn't deserve anything from that game. And there we are, the end of the first episode with Valencia, and things are going to be pretty tough, I think, this season. We've played the first couple of months of the season. We've played one league game since that game against Tottenham, which we lost 2-0 against Osasuna. As far as the league's concerned, we've got 10 points from 8 games. Obviously, we won one, lost one in the Europa League. Hopefully, apart from that game against Man United, we've got fairly straightforward games in the Europa League. Really, the only aim for the first half of the season is to make the knockout stages of the Europa League, and then we see what happens from there. So join us next time to see if we can get back on track. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.